Animal Form and Function 2, Lecture 16. Today we will discuss about body fluid regulation. So how metanephric kidney work? The first principle is counter current exchange. That is, the loop of nephron increases the reabsorption efficiency by counter current flow, as water and ions are reabsorbed through the Bowman filtrate. Just like the gills of fishes, in which oxygen is reabsorbed by the counter current exchange mechanism, and in the legs of birds, heat is exchanged by the counter current exchange mechanism. Here you can see in the warm and cool condition, that is heat counter current exchange mechanism, veins have the colder blood, arteries have the warmer blood. So when blood will go from artery to the distal ends, then arterial blood heat will be transferred to the venous blood, which is going toward the interior of the body or toward the core structure of the body. Then loop of Henle, that is, longer the loop of nephron, more water and ions are reabsorbed. And just like the kangaroo rat, so kangaroo rat is a desert animal, so kangaroo rat have to conserve water, so its loop of nephron is very much long. Highly concentrated urine will be produced as more and more water will be reabsorbed. Have very long nephronal loops. Amphibians have no loop in the nephron because they don't have to conserve the water. Look at this diagram, as this diagram is of nephron. So nephron have red in color is glomerulus. Then glomerulus is covered by Bowman capsule. That Bowman capsule will lead to convoluted tubules, that is nephronal tube. The first portion will be called the proximal tubule, and then proximal tubule will lead to the loop of Henle, and then after loop of Henle there will be distal convoluted tubules, and distal convoluted tubules is leading to the collecting ducts. Collecting duct is the last portion of the nephron. Now you can see the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle have the different arrangement of the cells, that you can see thick segment of the ascending limb and then thin segment of the descending limb. And you can see the descending limb and ascending limb, the lower portion of the loop is very thin, upper portion of the ascending limb is very thick. The main thing in the loop of Henle is that the descending limb reabsorb the water, but through the ascending limb there is no absorption of the water, as reabsorption of the water is not possible because of its structural arrangement, its cellular arrangement. Now come to the next, proximal convoluted tubule. The process of reabsorption in proximal convoluted tubules is that it removes salts, that includes NaCl, water, from the glomerulus filtrate. In the previous diagram you well observed the proximal convoluted tubules. So it reduces the volume of the filtrate by 25%. It means that maximum water is absorbed here, and salt concentration and urea are isotonic to the extracellular fluid, as salt concentration in the Bowman filtrate and in the extracellular environment is same, so water and salt can move inside outside. Here you can see the proximal convoluted tubules. So in this diagram you can see the arterial and venal blood supply is there, so easily water can move in and out, mostly it goes out. Loop of nephron. As filtrate moves descending limb, the loop of nephron have more concentrated filtrate as 25% of water is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. So water is again reabsorbed here due to osmosis as high salt concentration in the brine bath in extracellular fluid. So extracellular fluid have more salts, so more water is reabsorbed into the extracellular fluid through the Bowman filtrate. Then exchange of material, highest urea brine broth concentration around the lower portion of cell, and due to this high salt concentration water will move out. As you see the principle, where more salt is there, then water will lead to that salt area. The loop of nephron filtrates passes into ascending limb. First filtrate will go to descending limb and then will go to the ascending limb, where sodium ions actively transported out of filtrate into the extracellular fluid, and chloride ions following passively. It means sodium ions will be passed to the extracellular fluid by expenditure of ATP, whereas chloride ions don't need ATP for their transport, and water will not move in the ascending limb to the extracellular fluid. Here you can see that there is nephron having the cortex, having the outer medulla, having the inner medulla. It means the portion in the inner medulla has very high salt concentration. So you can see that in this diagram, proximal convoluted tubules, bicarbonate ions will be exported outside from the filtrate. Sodium chloride, water and potassium ions go outside, whereas hydrogen ion and ammonia will go inside the filtrate. Then in the descending limb water will move out, and as water will move out, so filtrate will become more salty. Then NaCl will move also out by the active transport because it is across the concentration gradient, not along the concentration gradient. Then sodium chloride will move out thick segment of ascending limb. Then distal convoluted tubules, sodium chloride will move out, water will move out, bicarbonate ions will move out, potassium and hydrogen will move inside now. Now into collecting ducts, sodium chloride will go outside, urea will go outside, water will go outside, and then this urine will pass to the ureter. Here you can see in the left side of the diagram that filtrate that contain water, salts, NaCl and others, bicarbonate ions, hydrogen ions, urea, glucose, amino acids, some drugs, and active transport and passive transport. So in the red arrow there is active transport, and in the gray arrow or blue arrow that is passive transport. Water cannot flow out of ascending limb as cells are impermeable for water. So salt concentration of extracellular fluid becomes very high. Counter current salt gradient, as the salt flows passively into descending loop, creating a recycling of salt through the loop and to the extracellular fluid that flows in descending and ascending limb in opposite direction as counter current salt gradient setup due to osmotic pressure of extracellular brine bath made even higher abundance of urea that moves out of collecting ducts. Finally, distal convoluted tubules empty into collecting ducts which are permeable to urea, and concentrated urea is present in the filtrate that will diffuse out into extracellular fluid and make high concentration of urea into extracellular fluid that is coupled with high salt concentration that forms the urea brine bath that causes water to remove out. Through the filtrate water will move out. So if urea is less or salt is less in the extracellular fluid, then water will not move outside and water will move into the urine. It means if you take more salts, then your blood will have more water, and that maintain the blood pressure. Even you diminish your salt intake, then your blood pressure will become low as your blood will not retain more water. By osmosis, as it moves down the descending limb, the water will move out. Peritubular capillaries surrounding the nephron collect water and returns to the systemic circulation. As water moves into extracellular fluid, water will move into capillaries through the filtrate in the nephron, and this water will go into systemic circulation. The renal pelvis is continuous with a tube that is known as ureter. Your body have the two ureter that carries urine to a storage organ known as urinary bladder. Urine forms from two ureters as you have two kidneys. So each kidney will have the separate ureters that accumulates urine into urinary bladder. So you have the single urinary bladder that leaves the body through a single tube known as urethra. So you can see in this diagram there is peritubular capillaries as arteries, interlobular arteries that will convert into efferent arterioles, and that efferent arterioles will convert into glomerulus and then efferent arterioles. Now this efferent arteriole will convert into capillaries, and this capillary bed is present along the nephron. Now this peritubular capillaries will reabsorb the water and will pour these water molecules through the venule to the interlobular vein and then to the systemic circulation. Urethra opens at penis. Urinary system. Urinary system has the two kidneys, ureter having a bladder, and urethra. Thanks.